Alright, today we have Solving Inequalities, Lesson 8-7. So first of all, adding and subtracting. When you add or subtract the same number from each side of an inequality, the inequality is going to remain true. There's nothing too tricky about this. You're going to solve it like you would a regular equation. So for example, we've got y plus 10 is less than 3. So what are all the numbers that y could be? You want to get y by itself? Y is being added to 10, so do the opposite. Subtract 10. Whatever you do to one side of the inequality, you do to the other. So y is going to be less than negative 7. There you go. Solve it exactly the same way that you would an equation. Same thing for number 2. B minus 1 1/3 is greater than 3. So what could the possibilities of B be? Add 1 1/3 to both sides. And then B is going to be greater than or equal to 4 1/3. Done. Alright, adding and subtracting, no tricks. Multiplying and dividing is a little bit different. So when you have positive numbers, again, nothing's going to change. Alright, the inequality is going to remain true when you are multiplying and dividing with positive numbers. Again, treat it just like an equation. So a couple of examples. 5 times what number is going to be less than 30? X is being multiplied by 5, so do the opposite of multiplying by 5, divide by 5. Whatever you do to one side, do to the other. 5 divided by 5 gives you 1x is less than 6. No tricks. Same thing, doesn't just work with one-step equation, it works with a two-step equation. So solve it the same. Get rid of that plus 6 by subtracting 6 on both sides. It's going to leave you 7c is greater than or equal to 56. C is being multiplied by 7, so the opposite of multiplying by 7 is dividing by 7. 7 divided by 7 leaves you C is greater than or equal to 8. Alright, solve it exactly the same way you would an equation. Now here's where things get a little bit tricky when you've got the negative numbers. So when you multiply or divide the sides of an inequality by the negative number, the inequality symbol must be reversed. It must switch for the inequality to remain true. We're going to look at this in class about why that is, but the best explanation I'm going to give to you right now is remember that that negative sign means the opposite. So you have to do the opposite sign. That's the best I can give you right now. We need to do some examples in class so we can test it out and you guys can see it. But right now, just going through the motions, if you have negative 5 times what number is less than 45? X is being divided by negative 5. I'm sorry, X is being multiplied by negative 5, so you need to divide by negative 5 on both sides. So here's where the issue is. Because you're dividing by a negative, alright, negative 5 divided by negative 5 gives you 1x, and that's what you want, one positive x, but 45 is being divided by negative 5, so we have to switch the signs, and it's going to be negative 9. I know that's going to be a little bit tricky. Alright, it just takes time getting used to, and again, I'm going to show you why that works in class. Same thing with a two-step equation. We've got our plus 5, so subtract 5 on both sides. It's going to give you 3b is less than or equal to 18. b is being multiplied by negative 3, so divide by negative 3. That's going to give you b. And because we're dividing by a negative, oh, sorry, my clock there. Okay, that's done. Sorry about that. Because we're dividing by a negative, because we're dividing by the opposite, you need to do the opposite. You need to switch the signs. Do the opposite signs. So now it's going to be b is greater than or equal to negative 6. I know that sounds a little crazy. Like I said, we will do more of that in class tomorrow. I'll see you then.